When a woman loses a good man, she doesn't always understand what she's really lost, not in the beginning. In the early days, she tells herself that she's fine, that she doesn't need anyone, that she's independent and strong enough to stand alone. She convinces herself that it was for the best. She keeps herself busy, posts pictures with confident smiles, and pretends she's unbothered. But deep inside, in the quiet moments when the world isn't watching, a strange emptiness starts to grow. Because when a woman loses a good man, not just any man, but one who truly cared, one who showed up, one who didn't play games, she doesn't just lose a relationship. She loses peace. She loses the kind of stability that isn't loud or dramatic, but quietly reassuring. It's that calm voice that used to say, "I'm here, don't worry." It's that gentle consistency that kept her grounded. When that disappears, she starts to feel a void she can't quite explain. At first, her ego celebrates. It tells her, "You're better off, you deserve more." And maybe that's true, maybe things weren't perfect. But as time passes, she begins to realize that perfection was never the point. It was the effort, the loyalty, the patience, the way he made her feel safe even in her most chaotic moments. That's what made him good. And when that energy leaves, the noise of the world suddenly feels louder. The laughter feels forced, the silence feels heavier. She starts to replay moments she once overlooked. The way he used to listen when she was tired, the way he stayed calm when she pushed him away, the way he noticed her moods before she said a word. Back then, she might have thought it was normal. She might have believed everyone would treat her like that. But life teaches differently. A good man's love is rare, not because men don't exist, but because few know how to love without ego, how to stay when it's inconvenient, how to care without conditions. So she begins to understand what she had. It doesn't hit her all at once, it's gradual, it comes in waves. In the way no one checks if she made it home safely. In the way no one asks if she's eaten. In the way no one looks at her with the same depth, the same patience, the same belief in her. That's when she realizes she didn't just lose love, she lost the one person who saw her soul and still chose her. It's not the loneliness that breaks her, it's the realization that she took something real for granted. That she pushed away someone who only wanted her to be okay. And when that truth sinks in, it changes her. She grows quieter. She starts to value energy over attention, peace over passion, effort over words. She learns that love isn't proven in grand gestures or constant validation. It's in showing up every day, especially when things aren't easy. And maybe deep down, she also learns gratitude. Gratitude for having experienced something genuine, even if it didn't last forever. Because a good man's love leaves an imprint, one that shapes how she loves, how she heals, how she sees herself. So when a woman loses a good man, she doesn't just lose a relationship. She loses a version of herself that was seen, understood, and protected. And though it hurts, it teaches her the most powerful truth of all, that love built on respect, effort, and loyalty isn't replaceable. It's one of life's rarest gifts, and once you've felt it, you never see love the same way again. At first, her ego celebrates. It tells her she's free, that she made the right choice, that she's too strong, too independent to need anyone. She convinces herself she's moved on, that she's better off chasing her goals, her dreams, her own happiness. She repeats it like a mantra until she almost believes it. But the truth is, the ego is loud at the start and silent when the heart begins to speak. Because deep inside, where the noise of the world can't reach, a quiet ache begins to form. It's not about missing a person, it's about missing peace. She remembers how she once felt understood without having to explain herself, how someone once read her moods through her silences, how she didn't have to pretend to be okay because someone genuinely cared to know when she wasn't. But pride won't let her admit that. Pride tells her you deserve more, but her heart whispers maybe what you had was already enough. That's when the conflict begins, the battle between what she wants to feel and what she truly feels. She starts to see that a good man's presence wasn't about control or dependency. It was about stability. He didn't complete her, he complemented her. He brought calm to her chaos, direction to her emotions, and gentleness to her storms. He wasn't perfect, but he was genuine, and when she pushed that kind of energy away, she didn't realize how hard it would be to find again. Because in today's world, people are quick to talk but slow to show, fast to leave but hesitant to stay. Then one day she catches herself comparing, not intentionally but subconsciously. She meets someone new, charming, confident, exciting, yet something feels missing. The depth, the security, the sincerity. She laughs, but it doesn't feel the same. She gets attention, but it doesn't feel earned. Because once you've been loved with patience and respect, casual affection starts to feel empty. She begins to understand that not all attention is care and not all presence is love. That's when reality sinks in quietly but powerfully. She realizes that losing a good man isn't about losing someone who loved her, it's about losing the version of herself that he inspired. He brought out her softness, her vulnerability, her belief in goodness, and without that mirror reflecting her best self back to her, she starts to harden. She tells herself she's stronger now, but deep down, she misses the version of her that felt safe to be gentle. It's a strange kind of pain, not loud, not dramatic, but deep. It visits her in the small moments, when she sees something funny and almost texts him, when she feels low and wishes for his comfort, when she hears a song that once made her smile. Those memories don't hurt because she wants him back. They hurt because they remind her what genuine connection feels like. Over time, she learns that the ego may win arguments, but it never wins peace. She realizes that love built on honesty, consistency, and care isn't something you replace, it's something you honor. And maybe she doesn't need to go back. Maybe the loss was meant to teach her that real love requires humility, gratitude, and awareness. That when someone gives you their heart without conditions, you handle it with care, because not everyone will love you like that again. In the end, she grows. She becomes more mindful of how she treats people who truly care. She learns that the loudest lessons often come from silent goodbyes. And while her ego once celebrated the loss, her soul now understands its cost. Losing a good man wasn't her punishment, it was her awakening. That's when it hits her, not all at once, but slowly, like waves that keep coming back, no matter how hard she tries to move on. At first, it's just a thought, a small reminder of a memory she brushed aside, a place they went, a phrase he used to say, a moment she didn't think mattered. But over time, those little memories start to pile up, and suddenly she realizes that what she lost wasn't just a person, it was the peace that person brought into her life. A good man's absence doesn't scream, it echoes. It lingers in the quiet moments when she's finally alone with her thoughts. It's in the stillness of the night, when the laughter fades and the phone stops buzzing. That's when his silence becomes louder than any conversation they ever had. Because he wasn't just someone she talked to, he was someone who understood even what she didn't say. And now that understanding is gone, his absence is not about missing company, it's about missing safety. The kind of safety that comes from knowing someone's got your back no matter what. The kind of safety where you can show your flaws and still be loved. When she loses that, every connection that comes after feels temporary, uncertain, fragile. She starts to compare, not because she wants to, but because no one else seems to make her feel that level of calm. The calm that comes from knowing she could be herself without fear of judgment. She starts noticing how no one checks in the same way, no one listens with the same patience, no one pays attention to the little details. And she realizes that what made him special wasn't grand gestures, it was the consistency, the way he cared every single day without being asked. The way he remembered things she didn't even remember telling him, the way he noticed her energy change before she said a word. It's that kind of quiet love that doesn't need to announce itself. But once it's gone, the silence feels unbearable. And when that realization hits her, it brings a pain that's different from heartbreak. It's regret. Regret for not seeing his value when he was there, regret for mistaking his calm for complacency, his understanding for weakness, his patience for lack of passion. She begins to understand that strength doesn't always come with loud declarations or constant attention. Sometimes it's in quiet consistency, in showing up, in being reliable when the world feels uncertain. That's when her perspective shifts. She starts to see how rare genuine love is, love that isn't about control, ego, or manipulation, but about care, loyalty, and growth. She realizes that a good man's love doesn't need validation from others. It simply exists, stable and steady, like a heartbeat she once took for granted. And in those moments of reflection, she learns that peace is a form of love too, and losing someone who brought that peace is one of life's deepest lessons. She learns that presence is priceless, that words mean little without actions, and that no amount of attention can replace emotional security. Sometimes she'll smile remembering him, not because she wants to go back, but because she finally understands. She understands what it means to be loved with purity, what it means to be valued without condition, and what it means to lose something you didn't appreciate enough. And though she may move forward, she never truly forgets. Because when a woman loses a good man, she carries that experience with her, not as a wound, but as a reminder that real love is calm, not chaotic, that real care is consistent, not conditional. And that sometimes the quietest souls leave the loudest marks on our hearts. It's not the loneliness that hurts her. It's the realization, the slow, haunting understanding that she pushed away something pure, something steady, something that most people never find twice. Loneliness is easy to fix. She can fill her days with noise, with distractions, with new faces and conversations. But the emptiness left behind by genuine love, that's different. It's not a space she can fill with company. It's a space that only peace and connection once occupied. And when that's gone, she starts to understand that peace isn't just a feeling, it's a person. In the beginning, she mistakes her newfound freedom for healing. She thinks moving on means she's over it. She goes out, laughs a little louder, laves a little faster, but then, in quiet moments, the truth begins to surface. It's not that she misses having someone around. She misses how she felt when he was around. The calm, the security, the way she could breathe without pretending to be someone else. Because when a woman loses a good man, she doesn't just lose love, she loses the version of herself that he helped her uncover. See, and then I herself selfed. He noticed the small things, the tone in her voice, the way her eyes changed when something was wrong, the silence she used when words were too heavy. He understood her without needing explanations, and he loved her through her rough edges. He wasn't scared of her moods or her strength. He respected it. He saw her chaos and didn't run. And when that kind of energy disappears from her life, it leaves behind a silence that no one else knows how to fill. She starts to replay the little things she once overlooked, the messages just to check in, the random calls, the way he made sure she felt safe no matter how angry she got, the way he stayed when others would have left. Those things that once felt ordinary now feel like luxuries. She realizes that the world is full of people who say the right words, but very few who actually mean them. And that's what makes losing a good man so painful. It's the recognition that she lost someone who meant everything he said. At first, she tries to fight the guilt. She tells herself it wasn't her fault, that maybe it was meant to be. But deep down, she knows she could have done more. She could have listened instead of arguing, appreciated instead of assuming, understood instead of reacting. And it's not about regret, it's about awareness. Awareness that love requires humility, that being loved deeply isn't something to take lightly. Because when someone gives you stability in a world full of chaos, that's not ordinary, that's sacred. Over time, she grows wiser. She stops romanticizing attention and starts valuing presence. She stops chasing excitement and starts craving peace. Because once you've known what it feels like to be loved by a man who listens, who respects, who stays, you can't unlearn that standard. Every connection that comes after is measured against that energy, and most of them fall short. She learns that losing a good man doesn't destroy her, it awakens her. It forces her to look at herself, to understand the weight of love, to realize that not everyone is replaceable. It humbles her, softens her, teaches her gratitude, and though she may never say it out loud, she knows. She knows she didn't just lose someone who loved her. She lost the one person who loved her without trying to change her. And that realization stays with her. It doesn't fade with time, it deepens. Because when a woman loses a good man, she loses more than affection. She loses the rare kind of love that felt like home. And long after the world moves on, she'll still remember not the pain, not the arguments, but the peace he brought and the version of herself she became when he was around. She starts to understand that a good man's love isn't about expensive gifts or grand gestures that impress the world. It's not in the flowers, the surprises, or the perfect words spoken at the right time. It's in the quiet, steady ways he showed up when no one was watching. It's in the way he remembered the smallest things, her favorite song, how she liked her coffee, the stories she told once and forgot she ever mentioned. His love was in the consistency, the calmness, the patience. It was in his ability to stay kind even when she was difficult, to remain loyal even when she doubted him, to keep giving when it would have been easier to walk away. When she looks back, she realizes that his love wasn't loud, it was gentle, and that gentleness was his strength. He didn't try to change her, he tried to understand her. He didn't try to control her, he tried to protect her peace. He made her feel seen, valued, and safe, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. That kind of love doesn't demand attention, it gives it freely. It doesn't shout, "Look at me." It whispers, "I'm here," and keeps showing up day after day. And when that kind of presence leaves, she starts to feel the difference in everything. Conversations feel shallower, laughter feels shorter, connections feel temporary. She begins to notice how rare real effort is, how rare it is for someone to actually mean what they say, to care without needing something in return. That's when she realizes that love is not proven by intensity, but by consistency. Passion is easy, stability is rare. She remembers how he used to see the best in her, even when she couldn't see it herself, how he spoke to her with kindness, even in anger, how he never used her vulnerabilities against her. He understood her emotions without judgment, and in that understanding, she felt safe enough to be real. That kind of emotional safety is something she never valued enough until it was gone. Because when she loses that kind of love, she doesn't just lose comfort, she loses the freedom to be her unfiltered self. There's a moment, a quiet, humbling moment, when she finally understands what he gave her. He gave her security without chains, affection without expectations, and love without conditions. He gave her effort every day, not just when it was easy. He stood by her when she was at her lowest, when she doubted herself, when she pushed him away. He didn't love her because she was perfect. He loved her because he saw her trying. That's the kind of love she thought would always be there, because it felt so natural until it wasn't. And now, when she meets people, she looks for that same energy, but few have it. Most want attention, not connection. Most crave excitement, not effort. And that's when she begins to miss him, not because she's lonely, but because she now understands how rare his love truly was. It wasn't the kind that tried to impress, it was the kind that quietly built something solid, so she learns. She learns that love isn't about butterflies, it's about peace. It's not about constant highs, it's about emotional safety. It's not about what someone can give you, it's about how they make you feel when you have nothing left to give. And she realizes that the real definition of a good man is not someone who promises the world, but someone who helps you see the beauty in yours. When that kind of man walks out of your life, no one else quite measures up, not because he was perfect, but because his love was real. And once you've experienced real, everything else feels temporary. She finally understands that a good man's love is not loud or dramatic, it's steady, patient, and pure. And when it's gone, it's not just missed, it's irreplaceable. And when that kind of energy leaves, no amount of attention, validation, or new faces can replace it. She might try, she might go out, talk to new people, distract herself with things that used to make her feel alive. She'll scroll through her phone, surrounded by notifications and messages, but still feel strangely alone. Because deep down, she knows attention is not the same as affection. Being noticed is not the same as being valued. She realizes that what she lost wasn't presence, it was connection. Real, quiet, soul-level connection that can't be imitated or rushed. She starts to see how temporary most people's love is, how quickly they give up, how easily they move on. Everyone seems eager to take, but very few want to give. She meets people who say all the right things, but none of it feels right. It's all surface, all talk, no depth, and that's when she begins to understand why his love felt different. It wasn't about words, it was about action. It was about how he made her feel secure even in silence. He didn't have to prove his worth, he just showed it through consistency. She'll catch herself comparing not because she wants to, but because it's impossible not to notice the difference. The way he used to protect her peace without making it seem like a burden. The way he listened with his heart, not just his ears. The way he stayed patient, even when she wasn't easy to love. Those memories become her quiet reminders of what real love feels like, calm, grounding, reassuring. And in a world where so many people confuse chaos with passion, that calm starts to feel like something sacred. There's a certain kind of emptiness that follows after losing a good man. It's not the kind that makes you cry every day. It's the kind that hums beneath everything you do. It's in the moments you laugh, but don't feel it fully. It's in the nights when everything is fine, but something still feels missing. That's what happens when the person who once brought you peace isn't there anymore. His absence becomes a quiet echo in your life, a reminder of how it felt to be truly understood. And slowly, she learns a truth that changes her forever. Genuine connection cannot be replaced by entertainment. You can't fill an emotional void with distractions. You can't heal from losing sincerity by chasing excitement. Because once you've been loved by someone who made you feel seen, every shallow connection afterward feels hollow. Every conversation feels shorter, every compliment less meaningful. You stop craving attention, you start craving depth. Over time, she grows more selective. She stops entertaining people who don't bring peace. She stops confusing attention for care. She learns that love isn't supposed to drain her, it's supposed to ground her. And she finally understands that what made that man special wasn't how much he said he loved her, but how deeply he proved it. His love was never loud, it was steady, patient, and sure, the kind that doesn't demand but gives, that doesn't perform but protects. And even though life moves on, his memory lingers in quiet lessons. She becomes wiser, calmer, more aware of what she wants and what she'll never accept again. Because once you've known the difference between real and almost, you can't pretend not to see it. She realizes that no new face, no attention, no affection can fill the space left by genuine love, because that kind of love doesn't just touch your heart, it reshapes it. So when that energy leaves, it doesn't just disappear, it transforms her. It teaches her the value of realness, the power of presence, and the rarity of peace. And though she may never say it out loud, she carries the truth quietly within her. Once you've been loved by a good man, everything else feels like noise.